Throughout history, the story of equality was never confined to just one country. It was a chain of courage that stretched across oceans and generations. From the ashrams of India to the streets of Montgomery, the townships of Johannesburg and the campuses of Jakarta, voices rose against injustice to end discrimination and defend dignity. The journey towards equality was neither quick nor easy, but it was unforgettable. Hello everyone, my name is Gusti, Agung, Istri, Krisna, Karina, Kepakisan from class 10-1, number 12 from St. Joseph High School. Today, I will be taking you guys on a journey from the past about civil rights movements across nations. Enjoy! Before we look at different countries, we need to understand why civil rights were being fought for in the first place. In the past, many people around the world faced unfair treatment because of their race, skin color, gender, or social status. Some were denied education, jobs, or even the right to vote just because they were seen as different. This inequality made people realize that freedom and justice should belong to everyone, not just a few. That's why civil rights movement began, to demand fairness, equality, and respect for all human beings. The earliest of these struggles began in India's pre-independence era, when early nationalist leaders such as Mahatma Gandhi believed that civil rights were essential for building a free and democratic nation. Gandhi's philosophy of satyagraha, or truth force, inspired millions to resist oppression without violence. The Salt March of 1930, where Gandhi and his followers walked 240 miles to the Arabian Sea to make their own salt, became a global symbol of nonviolent resistance. By 1947, India achieved independence, not through bloodshed, but through moral conviction. Similarly, the United States saw its own civil rights movements in the 1950s and 60s, when African Americans fought to end racial segregation and discrimination. The turning point came in 1955, when Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a segregated bus in Montgomery, Alabama. Her act sparked the Montgomery bus boycott, a year-long protest where citizens walked miles each day rather than submit to injustice. And under the leadership of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., dreams of equality echoed through marches and speeches, reaching their height at the 1963 March on Washington. There, King declared that one day his children would not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Those words shaped the conscience of a nation, even as protesters faced violence, imprisonment, and death. Across the Atlantic, another struggle unfolded in South Africa, where apartheid, a system of legalized racial segregation, stripped the majority of their freedom and dignity. Nelson Mandela, both an activist and a lawyer, became the face of resistance. Although he was imprisoned for 27 years, his perseverance turned him into a global symbol of endurance and hope. When apartheid finally ended in 1994, South Africa held its first democratic election, and Mandela became its first black president, proof that forgiveness could triumph over vengeance. In Indonesia, the civil rights movement emerged from the nation's long struggle for independence. During Dutch colonial rule, rigid racial hierarchies limited education and political freedom to a small elite, sparking a rise in national and civil consciousness. The national awakening began in 1908 with Budi Utomo advocating for education and welfare, while Raden Ajeng Kartini became an early voice for women's rights through her writings. Youth movements like Perhimpunan Indonesia and the Sumpah Pemuda united Indonesians across ethnic and religious lines, culminating in the 1945 Proclamation of Independence by Sukarno and Hatta, promising freedom, equality, and justice in the preamble of the Constitution. However, independence did not immediately secure civil rights. The old order and Suharto's new order suppressed freedom, especially of speech and political opposition. In 1998, the Reformasi movement, led by students amid an economic crisis and widespread corruption, demanded democracy and justice. Suharto's resignation marked a turning point, empowering a more conscious civil society that continues to strive for freedom and equality today. In the end, each country's civil rights movement made real change happen. India gained independence, America ended segregation, South Africa broke free from apartheid, and Indonesia became a democracy. These movements show that everyone deserves to be treated fairly, no matter their race, gender, or background. They remind us that standing up for what's right can inspire others and make the world feel better. And that's the story of civil rights movements across nations. I hope this journey helped us see how courage and unity can truly change the world. Thank you for listening, and see you!